Hi everyone. Today is all about the life pillar. So we're going to talk about the life pillar. And if you missed the last two from the series, our 4C's during disruption, choices, chances, changes, and character, we talked about the lead pillar and we talked about the love pillar. So today is about the life pillar, and we're covering opposites existing as a whole, as well as the empty keyring that I talk about in my TEDx talk. So welcome. So we're facing a disruption. It's clear that we've all been disrupted from the normal way or the way we've been used to living previous to all of this happening, in self-isolation and being confronted in ways where you have to learn new ways of being. And this is life happening to us. It's so happening to us, meaning bringing upon us changes that we necessarily didn't ask for, or, we have different choices to make now. And what are some of the changes we need to make to be able to stay and possibly come out of this thriving from our best selves and our character strengths? So let's talk about what I mentioned, the two things. And one is opposites existing as a whole. What am I talking about when I say opposites existing as a whole? I'm talking about us facing moments of resistance and trying to find the momentum there. Us facing moments of sadness and trying to find the happiness from there. And I could go on with these examples of opposites that exist and how do we move on from there. And when I say existing as a whole, I mean, if you look at things from a full circle, they actually are a continuation of one emotion, one feeling, or one way of being, continuing to come upon to be faced how we feel next. So, for example, we don't recognize, and I say this in the TEDx talks that I did, I say we don't know what suffering is without, we don't know what compassion is without suffering. We don't know what momentum is without resistance. We can't experience an end without a beginning. So each one actually follows the other in a full circle of how things happen. So an end and a beginning are continuous on the same circle. So that's what I mean, existing as a whole. You can't separate those two things. But let's talk about how do you get yourself out of that resistance or that sadness or that negative thought or those things that you're feeling and experiencing that are real and valid that you need to move forward from. The trick there is to not stay in that moment forever, or not to stay in that resistance where it becomes complacency, where it becomes something where you're continuously feeling that way or experiencing. So you have to find that momentum to do something. And that's where your outlook comes in. That's where your choices come in. But that's where you have to explore some options of ways of doing things, even with the set of limited options that we have nowadays, to be able to move forward from there and to have that positive outlook to move forward. And one of the most inspiring things and videos that I watched lately was Dr. Viktor Frankl talking about his moment where he was in the concentration camp, part of the Jewish Holocaust, where he absolutely had nothing but himself. And it became a way of just being rather than having anything else. Which leads me to the piece on the talk that I did about the empty keyring, where I talked about, holding that empty keyring, knowing that there was nothing else besides my outlook on life, on how to carry forward, on how to move forward from that spot, as well as me, myself. That permanent key being on the keyring, me. And the outlook of which that I needed to face next was all in the creation of what I needed to do to build again, to build from a space that was positive, to build from a space that was compassionate, empathetic, and actually thrive from where it was at that point. So those are the two things that I wanted to talk to you about. I am always available to reach out to book any virtual workshops or sessions that you needed to do for your associations, organizations, or even your immediate surrounding community. Whatever I can help with, I'm available. You can reach me on email at consultant@karakagroup.com, as well as our social media sites. You can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course the YouTube channel where this video will be posted. And next week, May 15th, is our last pillar that we're going to do, the collective significance series, our 4C's during disruption, and that is the health pillar. We're going to talk about the choices available to us during while we practice the health pillar, and what are those that could nurture us, mind, body, and spirit, because we have to look at our health collectively as mind, body, and spirit. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to share, like, comment, and watch our TEDx Talk, Collective Significance. You can find it on YouTube. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week, May 15th.